Hi, this is Sherry Patton Ceramics, and today we're making a dog foot. We'll be just concentrating on the lower part here, but I think it's interesting to look at the anatomy as it goes up. We'll also be doing the dog pads. Notice with a dog foot, you can really see how those nails stick out. They are not retractable as they are with the cat family. So you're just going to start out with a piece of clay. Just roll it out. And then you're going to bend it. The foot is pretty long. So I'm bending it out here, and then I'm going to take my hand and squish down. And I can see that there's too much of a curve right here. So I'm going to bounce it on my work surface, and then I'm going to bounce it this way also. And this will make your animal be able to stand. So you can see how it's much, much better in the back right there. It can stand easily. Now I'm going to have to smooth this area right here, because if I don't, then it will crack later, if it hasn't cracked already on you doing this. Really try to use soft clay, because then it doesn't have such a tendency to crack. Now, so we're looking at this. You can see that it's about the same width up here as down at the bottom. So I'm just smoothing this area, making sure that it's the right shape. This shape right here is rounded, so I'm just going to pinch off that piece of clay right there and smooth it in. So now I'm just going to take a needle tool, or you could use a paper clip, and I'm going to, since there are 4 toes in the front, the dew claw in the back, I'm going to go right in the middle and make a cut straight down. This cut is longer, you can see, than the cat. And again here, so that these ones are just a little bit smaller area there. And again. Then I can take my fingers and make it nice and rounded. Or I can use a tool, like for example, this wooden tool, to smooth out the area between. Makes it look much, much better. And I can use it to also round the ends if I can't get my fingers in there. With this large of a foot, I could. But you're probably making a smaller one. And if you are, then it will help you. There we are. Squeeze it out just a little bit, because I notice that's rounded on that side, so I'm just pressing it a little bit. And now we're going to add those claws. Take a piece of clay, and you're going to pinch it so that you're putting more pressure right here and rolling it. And when you do that, it's going to end up kind of like a carrot. It's going to be that shape that we need. Let's see if it's too large. Looks a little too large to me. So I'm just going to cut it. I'm going to dip it in some water. Make sure if your clay isn't super moist, you're going to need to score and slip this. But I want to make this a short video for you. There we go. Notice that the claws do touch the ground. And just squeeze it at the end. Probably too large. Dip it in water and add. So I'm adding it here, pressing down. And then I'm going to show you how to do the paw underneath. For those of you who maybe are making an animal that is laying down, has its little feet up, Little paws up. For my students, it's always better when they make it more than the typical. If your fingers get too moist, just roll the piece of clay against a piece of canvas. Last one. Cut it off and dip it in water and add. There, whoop, just slipped over. Gently move it over. A little bit too long. There we are. So that is the top. And now we're going to turn it over and do the same thing to the bottom. Gonna get a wooden tool or some other kind of tool to get between there and smooth it. And then we're going to work on those pads. So the pads are just, you'd go ahead and start off with a sphere. So you're just going to roll. And then see how large. Ooh, this is a little bit too large. Just going to pinch a little clay off. So this is going to be about the right size I need. But when you get done rolling it into a circle, then you're going to have to roll it back and forth like this. And that's going to make it into that nice oval shape you see right there. And then you add it, if it doesn't slip off. And squish. There we are. I usually like to make these all four at one time before I put one on. So I'm going to do that with the rest of these. So round and round. And then I'll make them into little ovals once I get it on here. So you always know it's a type of a dog print if you see the nails on the ground too. The nails hitting. Here we go. Add. It's a little bit too long, so I'm just slicing it off. Back and forth. Water from my finger and add. Back and forth. It always looks really good once you get that middle pad on there. And press. So we're going to go for that. These are a little high. I'll press them down a little bit. Press these ones up and these ones down. To play with that later. And now for this shape right here. You kind of start with a triangle, seeing how it's going to work here. It's about the right size. And then I'm just going to play with this side, round it, round the top. If you want, you could actually, use this tool, flatten out the clay, and then just cut this shape if you wanted. That might be easier for you. You have to gear it toward what works for you. So this is about the right shape, and then it goes up in the middle a little bit. Kind of like one of those toys. I can't remember what they're called from long ago. Probably not many people remember that one. And now we're going to dip it in water because this clay is very soft and add it. Looking at where to place it There we are there. And then I need to add one more pad on the side right here. Dip it in water. And there we are, dog's foot.